Welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well, and I genuinely hope your day has been kind to you so far. This channel exists for one simple reason: curiosity. Curiosity about people, curiosity about power, curiosity about why the world works the way it does, even when it doesn't make sense. Here, we don't rush ideas, we sit with them, we question them, and sometimes we laugh at how painfully accurate they are. In this series, we're slowly understanding the 48 laws of power, not as instructions to become manipulative villains, not as moral lessons, but as honest observations of human behavior, the kind you usually learn only after making mistakes. We understand these laws in two parts. First, what they actually mean, and second, how they show up in real life. Today, we begin with law number one, and this law quietly controls more lives than people realize. Law 1, never outshine the master. At first glance, this law sounds uncomfortable. Never outshine the master. It almost feels like it's asking you to shrink yourself, to hide your intelligence, to dim your light. But that's not what this law is really about. This law isn't about talent, it's about ego. And ego, once bruised, never forgets. From childhood, we're taught a very simple equation. Work hard to be good to get rewarded. But adult life runs on a different formula. Make people feel secure to gain access to gain power. And most people fail not because they're bad at what they do, but because they don't understand how fragile authority really is. The core idea: the master doesn't have to be a king or a boss. It can be your manager, your teacher, your senior, your mentor, even a friend who holds emotional power. Anyone who feels they are above you in a hierarchy. The moment you make them feel replaceable, outdated, exposed, inferior, you stop being impressive, you become dangerous. And people don't reward danger, they eliminate it. Example from the book. Niccolo Machiavelli and the Medici family. Robert Greene gives a powerful historical example. Niccolo Machiavelli, the man whose name became synonymous with political intelligence, worked under the Medici family in Florence. He was brilliant, strategic, sharp, too sharp. When the Medici regained power, Machiavelli was seen not as an asset, but as a threat. Why? Because his intelligence reminded them that power could exist without them. He was imprisoned, tortured, exiled. Talent didn't save him. In fact, it painted a target on his back. This is the brutal truth the law is pointing at. Power does not like mirrors, it likes thrones. Modern example, the workplace. Let's bring this into everyday life. Imagine you join a company. You're motivated. You stay late. You solve problems fast. Your boss, however, has been in the role for years. In meetings, you correct them publicly, finish their thoughts, casually show you know more. You think you're helping. What you're actually doing is this. You're making their authority visible and fragile. Soon, you stop being invited to important discussions. Your performance is praised privately, never publicly. Opportunities quietly pass you by. No confrontation, no drama, just invisible resistance. You didn't lose because you were wrong. You lost because you made someone feel replaceable. Why this hurts people so much? Because it feels unfair. You think, I did everything right. I was competent. I was honest. But power doesn't operate on fairness. It operates on perception. And perception is emotional. People don't remember what you did. They remember how you made them feel. If you make someone above you feel insecure, they will never trust you with power. Example from the book. Galileo Galilei. One of the most famous examples in the 48 Laws of Power is Galileo. Galileo discovered truths that challenged the church's understanding of the universe. He wasn't wrong, but he made a fatal mistake. He presented his discoveries in a way that made religious authorities look foolish. Instead of allowing them to discover the truth themselves, he exposed them. The result? He was forced to publicly recant his findings, placed under house arrest, silenced. Truth didn't protect him. Timing and humility might have. The law isn't saying don't speak truth. It's saying never make authority feel cornered. School and college, where this starts. This law often begins teaching itself early. A student answers every question perfectly, adds extra points, corrects the teacher. The class admires them. The teacher feels challenged. Slowly, the student is graded more strictly. Minor mistakes are magnified. Praise disappears, not consciously, not maliciously, but emotionally. Authority reacts before logic arrives. The psychology behind the law. Here's the uncomfortable part. People in power often reach there not because they were the best, but because they survived. Their position is tied to their identity. So when someone threatens that position, they don't hear logic, they hear danger. And danger triggers defense. This is why leaders fire talented people. Managers sabotage smart employees. Mentors abandon gifted students. Not because talent is bad, but because it destabilizes the hierarchy. What the law is not saying. This law is not telling you to be fake, stay small forever, kill your ambition. It's saying be strategic with your brilliance. Power is not won by confrontation. It's won by patience. You don't overthrow the king by shouting you're better. You wait until the crown is offered or slips. The smart way to apply Law 1? Instead of outshining, support publicly, suggest privately, let credit flow upward. Ironically, this makes authority trust you. And trust is how power moves hands. When people feel safe around you, they slowly give you influence. Example from the book. Louis XIV. Louis XIV surrounded himself with talented people, but he made sure they always appeared dependent on him. He rewarded them, praised them, but never allowed them to eclipse his image. He understood something deeply. People accept hierarchy when it feels stable. Friendships and social life. This law doesn't stop at work or politics, even in friendships. Constantly correcting people, one-upping stories, always being right, eventually isolates you. People don't leave because you're wrong. They leave because you make them feel small. The paradox. Here's the paradox that makes this law painful but powerful. The more desperate you are to prove yourself, the less powerful you appear. The calmer and quieter your confidence, the more people lean toward you. Power respects restraint. Final thought. Law 1 is not about suppressing who you are. It's about understanding where you are. Power is a slow game. Those who rush to shine often burn out early. Those who understand timing shine longer and higher. Never outshine the master. Doesn't mean never rise. It means don't trigger fear before you gain protection. Because once fear enters the room, logic leaves. This is law number 1. And every other law stands on this foundation.
Please like and subscribe. Thank you.